Hello and welcome. My name is Nilaus and this is another tutorial, this time on Logistics Train Network. This is a mod that has been, that I have had, I've not noticed it, but it's brilliant and I should have used it a long time ago. So in my campaign, I'm heavily using trains and I'm making some normal trains like this, go to a provider, pick stuff up, go to the requester and unload until empty and just keep going. So we'll just illustrate this example. However, the problem with this setup is that, for example here, it just fills it up. It fills it up until one of the conditions are met, not a specific amount. I could, of course, set that. But in the case, for example, like water barrels or water for that matter, or plastic, some of the items that are used several different places. I have a problem of if I make a sequential, either I have 10 trains going from plastic and out, but that'll never work, or I have one train going from plastic and out to 10 different items. That means the number 2 or 3 will not get any. So there are some problems with just making these regular train schedules. And I'm actually going to kill you if I can. There we go. Because this is not about regular trains. Now, what I'd like to also draw attention to or show you attention to is these indicators. This is a minor mod called, not a minor, but a small mod called Smart Display that displays what is being wired to them. So in this case, I'm wiring the content of the boxes to these locations so I can see what how much is in each location. Now, this is not about normal trains. This is about the new, not new, but the Logistics Train Network. So let's set it up and I'll try to explain the concept of it while setting it up. It requires some different types of train stops, and they are a bit more advanced than the normal train stops. Let's give them some proper names. Let's call it LTN for Logistics Train Network, and then Wood Provider. Good. And the other one, let's give it a reasonable name as well. Instead of Alistair Gordon, not a very good name. LTN Wood Requester. There. I don't know if that was spelled correctly or not. Let's get a hook that I want. Now let's have a look at what this one does. It contains 3 entities: the normal train stop, the input signal. This is a lamp. This is where everyone tells the logistics network what is going on, and the logistics stop output is where it tells the rest of the world what the train is doing. Now let's zoom out in a sense and look at what the purpose of this one is. The purpose is basically to replicate the behavior of logistics robots. So basically we will have a roboport where they're standing, where they're idling, and when there is enough of a demand, where there's a matching supply and demand, it will generate a train schedule and move the goods. So it works very much like the logistics network, and the first part of the logistics network is actually the roboport. So let's have a look at that corresponding thing. And look at this beautiful train. This has nothing to do with this mod, but it's part of the Angels mod, Angels mod Logistics, and it has this beautiful crawler train. So I'll use this for my logistics trains because then that's pretty cool, and then I can see gradually how I transform into using logistics trains. Now you will notice a blue light here. This train stop is a special type of train stop, and the way I do that is having a constant combinator. It sends a signal called stop is depot. Depots, you can have as many as you like, and they can have the same name. So in this case, I call it LTN Depot, quite a reasonable name. I can have tons and tons of these, and I probably will, because that's where all my trains are idling. And I do that by wiring up this location. So now this train is basically a robot waiting in a roboport for a match between a supply and a demand. Now let's start with the supply side. So instead of just wiring into this one, I can also continue wiring it up here. As you can see, I've prepared it. I'll wire it from the pole and into the lamp. That means now I have told the lamp, you can see here, they are now connected. The lamp tells the power pole that it's a green signal. The just tell the green signal or the input that there's 2,388 available. It is a very important detail. It must be a green wire going in and out. I spent hours debugging why it wasn't working, and that was because I used a red wire. So for some reason, the input here must use a green wire for telling the inputs and outputs. Not for depot though. So now we have set, this is now a provider chest that basically says, I have this amount. if someone needs it, you can come get it here. And of course, this location needs it. So the way we do that is in 2 steps. We'll do the first part here. We'll put an input. So basically, we want to say, hey, I want wood. And in this case, I want, if it's a positive number, it means it's provided. If it's a negative number, it means it's requested. Very, very simple way of doing it. And it works absolutely brilliant. So I want 1200. That's good, but there's more to it as well. There are some additional signals here that we also need. For example, I don't want this to go unless there's enough. So this is the minimum delivery size. So don't start a train schedule unless you have, you know what, 1100. I want this pretty well. Now the next one, these two, minimum train length and maximum train length, they are also quite important. The way that I work my base is that I have small trains of 1 plus 2, working inside my base, and then for the minerals I have a 2-4 train running in, and I don't want a 2-4 train servicing this one, because then it will be locomotive, and nothing will be loaded. So that won't work. Instead, what I need is to then say, I don't want trains here that are larger than 3 in length, like this. And then as soon as I hook this up, you will see that a train schedule is generated. Here, let's hook it up to this one first. You can see the input now on the lamp, or not the lamp, but the power pole. And once we click it into this, the logistics train, notice that we'll get a service message stating that a schedule has been generated. There we go. Creating delivery, 1,200 raw wood, LTN wood provider to LTN wood requester. That seems quite reasonable, doesn't it? It goes up here. You can see the schedule is already provided. It's quite convenient. It states also, and I don't want to run in front of it. And here it unloads. As you can see, this is the amount that's in these chests, not the ones that are being transported either, but just in the chest. And once it's done, it will head back to the storage location. Now at this point, this one is always hungry, always hungry. So this one's another 1200, because it can see that there is 1200 up there. Now that's not actually the best way of doing it, because actually this buffer is okay. I only want to fill it up. I don't want to fill it too much up like this, right? So I want to control it by basically saying the content of the boxes is going into this one. This is at now 200, while my requesting is minus 1200. And you will see that it rockets up now. Go, go, go. And I don't want this one to keep going in. For example, if you have ore being brought in from a mining outpost, you don't want to keep bringing the ore in if your buffers internally are full. So it goes out, and as long as this one is above 1200, it'll generate a new, or above 1100 actually. So what I would propose is actually hooking up the content of the buffer to the fixed, so that the fixed here becomes, this is the maximum I want in my buffer, or this is the ideal amount in my buffers. You can see here, now this display changes because they are now added. The content of the boxes is subtracted from the requester, or actually it's added to the negative number from the requester. You can see here now this is being unloaded, and that number go up. So ideally I wanted that 0, but that's where I'm working towards. But now it will not generate a new schedule. See, no new schedule is generated, because it will wait until it has minus 1100, and then it'll schedule another resupply of this location. Let's just wait for it to go. Now, another issue in this, even though it can take more, then I don't want it to go. Another one of the issues with this is pollution. What if I put some other items in here? This could either be an error because it just happened to find its way on the belt, or it could be actually intended that this could be 6 different things. I could also have 6 different things on the other side. And how the hell would I ensure that? So what happens when I do this? Oops, it starts filling in the garbage here. That's a problem. You see, this one generated only once the surplus was minus 1100, or the stock was minus 1100. And now it gets even worse, because then it gets polluted as well. So this is no good, and there is a trick to it. Let's have a go at when the new train schedule is being generated. It comes along shortly, soon-ish, I hope. Now, the easiest way would just be taking all of these and just say, well, easy peasy, I'll just make this. However, what if I sometimes want to load iron or steel and sometimes want to load wood? Then that's going to be an issue. However, there is quite a clever way, and this is where the train output, logistics train output, comes along. Now we want to make, there we go. As long as it's minus 1100, it generates a train schedule. It comes up here. It will look at this signal. As soon as it stops, it'll say, I want 1100. And I'll just mark it here. So this one basically says to the surrounding, hey, load me 1100. So how about I just hook this up from this location, output into that network here, and then into all of these inserters. Happy little inserters. Now the inserters, of course, need to be set the filter. And that means the output here becomes the filter for these. Let's start up again, switch it back. You can see now it switches directly over to only load the wood, and the steel will remain. However, if there was another train coming in for steel, hey, I'm also providing steel, right? I'm also providing 1.2K. So what if, just for the hell of it, we'll try just saying this is no longer requiring that, but it might be now requiring steel. Let's do minus 1000 steel. And let's actually set this one down to minus 1000 as well. So it will not generate a new wood. Well, first of all, because it's not requiring any wood, because I've removed that. It'll go, but it should be generating a new steel plate, 1000 steel plates. Oh dear, now it needs the steel plates up here, and you will see that as soon as it gets in, it sends a steel signal, and the steel will be loaded onto the train. Very convenient. That means that you can have basically 12 different things being loaded, preloaded into buffers, and only the stuff that's needed will be loaded onto the train. That is incredibly convenient. And of course, the majority is over here, so why don't we just put it in here and then be happy about it. Okay, so this illustrates, we can actually go back here and say minus 1200 of those as well. And then those train will get both. There is a way to also set up priority, but we are not getting to that yet. This just illustrates the amount of the flexibility of this by basically saying the trains, there are 40 stacks. That's interesting. Now it says a merge transport of 14 stacks. Now it tries to load both of them because it sees that both can be picked up from the same location and delivered at the same location. That's brilliant, isn't it? So that really concludes the initial tutorial on the Logistics Train Network. I think it's an absolutely brilliant way to do it, and I can't believe I built 50 manual train schedules, if not more, when I should have just built it like this. So that's something I need to clean up now. So I hope this was helpful in getting to know this rather complicated mod, and then demystifying it into something that's quite easy and intuitive to set up if you're familiar with roboports and basic circuit networks. So thank you very much for joining. I hope you liked it. Leave a like or a comment below, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you. Bye.